Hi, friends, and welcome to episode 13 of the Stoked to Have You podcast. You may notice my voice a little bit. I did get hit, I think, by the smog that's happening here in Chicago, and I got a little raspiness going on, a little bit of just being outdoors a little bit too much. I didn't realize the air quality wasn't as good yesterday, and I was kind of out. So hopefully things are fine. I'm feeling fine, just a little bit raspy. But anyways, so today I actually had a bit of a request from a friend to talk about the runner's high, and I'm really excited because obviously I love running, but I've just recently gotten back into running, and it is a high unlike any other. And he had asked me about like what is the runner's high? And I've hit it many times. And so scientifically, this is, you got endorphins that are kind of like your painkillers. And then you have dopamine, which is like this feel good, like motivator. And together they create this high feeling. It's funny because like if you've ever actually done drugs or gotten high, like I don't feel like they're the same. Like I would say maybe close to like mushrooms, where it's like, oh my God, I feel amazing. But not like smoking weed. And then if you haven't had any drugs, it's like being excited. It's feeling good. It's like when you're at your most confident. That's kind of what it feels like. And so for me, there's definitely a time and a place where like I'm out running and it happens. For me, I would say my warm up is about 25 to 35 minutes. So it takes me about that long to like get into my run. So right now I'm only running about 30 minutes at a time, and it's only a walk run because I've been recovering from a hip injury. And I haven't reached that point. Like I'm kind of just, as soon as I start getting into the run, I'm like, oh, I kind of feel warmed up and now I need to stop. I am also fatigued a bit more than I normally would be because I'm at a lower distance for now. But previously, I remember the first time it happened. I was going out for an 8-mile run. And this is during the training for my first marathon. Now, training for my first marathon was very new because, like, I think I mentioned before, I didn't realize there were other distances that you could cover that were shorter than the marathon other than the 5K. I was like, oh, there's 5Ks and there's the marathon. Like, there's no in between. There couldn't be. But there is. But so my training was a little rough at first because I didn't know what I was doing. And then it was just I made a list of things to try, like eating certain things during a run, or eating certain things before or after, and different hydrating tools, all sorts of stuff. But it was a rough go. I did not, I just didn't understand my body. I think that's one thing about running is it really forces you to become this like very in tune mind-body connection. And over the past few years, I think I took it a little bit for granted, and I was like, oh, I can just go out and run and be fine without really putting in a little extra love to myself. And then that's how I got injured, is I kind of ignored some signs. And I was like, well, because there isn't pain, I'm sure I'm fine. But the truth is, like, I should have gotten assessed. And I think a yearly assessment is pretty important. especially because I'm using my body so much. So, I mean, it's like a tune up for a car or a bike or like anything. It's like, just get it checked out. It's like going to the doctor, just go once a year at least. Get checked out. Make sure everything's running on all cylinders. But so I'm in this training for my first marathon, and things went awry. I remember doing my first like 5K, and the stomach issues, like not being able to breathe, huffing and puffing. And then things finally started clicking. And then my body also started getting used to the runs. I wasn't just like going 100%. I was easing into runs and then letting my body like warm up. And I remember being on this 8-mile run. And I had to have been like 6 miles in. And I just felt like I could run forever. I feel like my legs are just gliding through the air. Like my arms are pumping. I felt efficient with every step. And oh my God, it's just such a good feeling. It's like, I could go forever. I can do this forever. And I guess that's why they also equivalent it to a high, is because like when you take drugs or something, it's like, oh, like this feels so good. I want this again. And which is funny. And because of dopamine, it's like, yeah, you could get addicted to this, I'm sure. For me, I don't chase the high, but I do enjoy it. However, there's also like, you got to control it because you can get away from yourself. So I experience this high and my body feels good. My brain feels good. Like I'm flying, but then I'm also flying. And then I'm pushing myself and I'm running and I'm getting gassed. So it's super easy to get away from yourself and to just be like, I'm just going to run as far and as fast as I can and ride this out. And you can burn out. So with that first run, I can't remember if I don't think I crashed and burned and I was like, I'm just going to start sprinting. But I have done that where I'm like, you know what? I feel really good. I'm going to take advantage of this. And maybe it's like, 8 miles into a 20-mile run, I can't really, expend all of this energy mid-run and then be like, okay, and then have nothing in the tank for the remainder of it. So it's definitely like you got to control it and you got to enjoy it and you have to be aware of that. Well, maybe not you, but I do. I definitely try to maintain it, but it is such a joyful place to be. And so my friend had asked, he's like, what is the runner's high and like, how do you describe it? Like, and I think it would be that it's feeling the best, like body wise, confidence wise. Like, I mean, if you asked me any question, I feel like I would just be on top of the world in that state. Which maybe I should record something while I'm in it. Like if I'm ever on a run, that'd be fun. Because I can't really, like, unless I'm in it, it's hard to be like, this is exactly how it feels. Because it's brief. It's not like, it's not lasting several miles. Like maybe it's only like 2 miles, if that. For me, it's never that long. Probably because I'm just exerting, but then also it's like, I've definitely gotten maybe bursts of like, this feels amazing when I've played soccer. And I do love a good sprint. You know what? Okay, now that I'm thinking about it, when I do sprints, I often get to this point. Oh, wow. I love thinking about this. Because I haven't thought about it in a while. But so like the last time I did sprints, I did them on the treadmill. I like to do them on the treadmill because it's a little bit more controlled. I also love like a good track, but I don't really have one by me right now. So I just do treadmill stuff. But I do it on like a slight incline, and I start slow. So I'll do like 30-second, like warm up sprints. I usually actually start on an incline, like a steeper incline, do about like 15 minutes of walking, and then bring it down, but still a little bit of an incline. And then I'll start running and increase a little bit. I like the idea of like fartleks, which if you're, it's FARTLEK. A fartlek is kind of like you're sprinting, but like it's not based on a measurement. It's more based on like I'm going from a point to point. Or for me on the treadmill, I'm using the duration of a certain song. So I'm like, okay, I'm using, the chorus to sprint, like, and I start at maybe like 65% or for a sprint, where I'm like giving 65% of effort and then increase that. So 65%, maybe 2 or 3, for the duration of a song, like 2 or 3 choruses, and then increase to about like 75% and then 85%. I would say 95%. And then I go balls to the walls. And that is my favorite. I have a few songs that I also run to. One is, and this is so funny, but one is Closer to the Edge by 30 Seconds to Mars. And like the ending where he's just like screaming, and like, so I have definitely found myself sprinting. Oh, also Make Damn Sure by Taking Back Sunday. Obviously, I'm an emo kid. And it's a lot of those songs. The Quiet Things That No One Ever Knows, also by Brand New. I know, controversial band now, but that song is just so fucking good. I know. But yeah, so I'm with the 30 Seconds to Mars song though. That is usually my finisher song, and I go, it's a great tempo to follow because it starts, at a good pace. So I'm just kind of like already running a little bit faster than I normally would. So like my heart rate increases pretty fast. And this is also like towards the end of my run, but like I don't stop after going 100% because I have that high, and I'm like, I kind of want to achieve that feeling of like, I'm breathing so hard and my lungs are burning, but I can't feel them, if that makes sense. Like I am huffing and I am and I'm gliding. It's like butter, baby. I'm on a fucking roll, I am just carving through the air and moving with such ease. And my favorite feeling is like my hips is like, I used to say this because I like to sprint at the end of the marathon if I can. If I have the energy, I'll go for it. And basically it's like, I feel like my hips unhinge like a snake's jaw, and they just like, it's like I can reach with my legs further than I ever could. And that's how it feels sprinting. And I just feel like I am moving. And then you have the beats of the song, and then he's like, I'm getting closer to the edge. And you're just like, I'm getting closer. And like, even though I'm on a treadmill, I'm like, I'm not moving. I'm not getting close to anything, but I am like just euphoric. I am like I will say it, if you've ever sprinted or done any type of like, pretty big, what is it, like a threshold workout, or maybe like to see your VO2 max, you have to push. And it can get a little, I think to some people, scary. But for me, it's more of like, am I getting like a little bit of tunnel vision? Yeah, maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. But I don't know. I think I've also just been doing it for so long that it's not scary. That it's not like, oh my God, I'm going to fall off the treadmill. It's like, no, I'm still breathing and I'm fine. But I get to this point and it's like, it's usually at the end of the song. And if I'm feeling really good while sprinting, I'll take my finger and slide it right back to the starting point and just keep sprinting. So I'm doing like 2 or 3 durations of that end sequence of the song and just running as hard and as fast as I can. And there is a point where it's like, it feels like my lungs are about to explode, but it feels so good to be running and to be moving like that I'm just like, I don't care. Like, let them explode, Are they actually going to explode? No. Could I pass out? Maybe. I'm pretty saying like, oh, I'm in tune with my body is one thing, but I do check my heart rate. And there is a certain point in which I would be like, whoa. But it gets pretty up there. It gets pretty up there. And then I'm just hauling ass. Doing this on the treadmill is one thing because you have the treadmill. It's creating consistency for you. Doing this outside is a totally different beast. Obviously, you're exerting differently. I mean, you are creating your momentum, whereas like the treadmill is helping you. But being outside and doing it too is just, it's the same. It's so great. It's so euphoric. My body feels, as John Mayer would say, like a wonderland. I love running. And I think I also, because I love sprinting, that is like, I want to go sprinting right now. Maybe it is like an addicting feeling. Maybe that is why I run. I'm like, oh, I just want that. I do love just like going out for even 3 miles though, and just being like, I did that. Especially as I get older, you have this like much greater appreciation for it. And as a previous athlete, like when you're training, I think with other people too that get it, and you get this like, you get to share this love for a sport. That is also a key element into why I love it. Because like, it's one thing to love it because I'm just like, oh, it's nice. It helps me stay fit. It helps me blah, blah. But like, it also brings me a lot of really good memories of, running with teammates, doing sprints with teammates, or like the suicides, or like, which is like when you run, like a quarter of the way, you come back, halfway, come back, full way, come back, on a field. And it's just, I don't know, shared misery. Misery loves company. So like, but like sometimes you're out there and you're like, fuck, I'm so tired. I remember it was raining once for training, for soccer. And some of the girls were complaining. And my coach was like, because they're like, oh, we're going to get all muddy. We're going to get all like gross. It's all wet. And she was like, cool, we're going to do crab walks. And I just remember being like, this is so fun. And then by the end of it, everyone's throwing like mud at each other and just like having fun. And they're kicking a ball around that weighs like 14 pounds because it's covered in mud. And yeah, just, making the most out of something that could be garbage, And I thought that was a pretty cool lesson. That stuck with me growing up. But yeah, working with a team, it's important. And then being able, though, to push yourself as an individual, I think that's what soccer taught me, at least, where I was like, oh, if I want to get better at this, I have to do it by myself. I mean, with a team as well. Like, I can ask, I had friends I met outside of practice that we would, play. But ultimately, like, I couldn't get better as a runner if I didn't run 3 times a week, and after high school, I played on a few leagues, but it was like, oh, I don't necessarily need the ball anymore. Like, also it is taxing. Like, the contact of playing soccer can be a lot. And I played on a league 2 years ago, and I was like, damn, like, I would come home and just have welts in places or get hit in the face with a ball. I had one guy kick it directly at my face, and I think I flew off the ground, like, because that's what it felt like, is like coming off the ground at least like a foot. But yeah, I love playing soccer, but no, there's no but. I love playing soccer. It is so much fun. I do personally like to call it football, but I don't want to confuse anybody. Yeah, so running and getting the runner's high, definitely more prevalent when I sprint. I think I can achieve that, and that's because of how hard I'm pushing. And the endorphins are just fucking like full blast. Before those runs, I also do make sure I am well hydrated. That I think is important, and that I am fueled up. At least some kind of like glycogen store, so that I can exert. And then I do bring, like, I love candy, Okay, I wouldn't say I love candy when running. I'm not super big on like, oh, I gotta have a piece of candy. Like, but yeah, it's funny. I'm staring at a bag right now of Nerds gummy clusters that have lasted me like months, because I'm like, I only have them when I do sprints. And then I'm like, oh, they're just sitting here because I haven't been able to sprint for a while. But I was like, I just have them on my desk. It's pretty funny. But yeah, so I do like to have like a little bit of candy or something just for a little sugar boost while I'm sprinting. Obviously, on a long run or something, I do fuel, but I think where I can get the most out of that runner's high is when I'm sprinting in a controlled environment, like a track or on a treadmill, because I'm like, oh, I can push myself, but I'm also not pushing myself further away from home. I'm like, oh, I'm here, and then I'm going to be walking home, or I'm taking, I'm biking back, or I'm busing back, or whatever transportation. But like, when I'm running for, like, say I'm doing 20 miles and I get that euphoric feeling, I can't really take advantage of it and be like, I'm going to give 100% right now, and I'm going to go as fast, as hard as I can, because I'm like, I also have to get home. I got to get back. And I got to finish this run. I have a goal. So it does carry me, but differently during different runs. So I didn't realize that. And so it's kind of nice. Thanks to my friend Vin for asking about this, because it just got me so excited about running. And being back running and learning proper posture, and like, I'm retraining my body. Like, I can't tell you what a confidence boost it's started, like it's created, because when I say my posture had gotten so bad, I mean, like, I felt unstable. And for whatever reason, my body just finally was like, yo, you got to do something about this. But like, I mean, my glute medius, both glute medius were not very strong. Like, they're getting there. They're still not strong. I still find that my balance is kind of a little wonky. But it got bad where I was like, oh, I'm falling over. Or like, if I lean back, I'm like, oh, I'm kind of I'm like, I feel compromised. I feel weak. Like my body doesn't feel connected. And so the more I do, the more connected I feel, the more confident I feel. And so that's pretty rad. But yeah, being back into running and cycling has been wonderful. I just love being active. It's always a good time, and I really encourage, especially for my friends who are also, we're all growing and we're all getting older. I really do think being old is a mentality. If you tell yourself, I'm too old for this, it's like, you're probably not. You're probably fine. Just do the thing. It's just, and it's not even that running is hard. It's just getting good at something is time consuming, It's practice. It's being bad before you're good. I was watching something, or it was like a shirt, or I don't know. I saw something on the internet, and it was like, in order to be smart, you have to feel dumb. In order to be fast, you have to be slow. And yeah, in order to be good at something, you have to be bad. And like, when you accept that you're like, oh, the learning process, I might, learn a new instrument, but I'm going to be terrible at it at first. And like, I think that's what scares a lot of people, is like being bad at something. And it's like, my friends and I were talking about how that quote of embarrassment is an underexplored emotion. And it's like, yeah, it totally is. I like to say embarrassment is a choice, and it truly is. Like, the only time I'm ever actually embarrassed is like if I've accidentally offended someone with saying something, or if like, but that to me is embarrassing. I'm like, oh, it's not a good representation of myself. But if I'm doing something for the first time and I'm bad at it, that's fucking expected. Like, and that's how that works. I will not be good at this. There is a very slim chance I'll be good at this the first time I do it. And you know what? If the first time you do something and you are good at it, kudos, dude. Be proud of that. Also, there's no shame in being good at things. Like, I just, don't be embarrassed to be who you are. And if it's really bad at something at first, cool. And if it's really good, cool too. But yeah, like with running, with learning anything, and especially like as we get older, I understand that it may feel harder to like get into running, and it's like, oh, it takes more time. But that's also like, if you haven't been doing it, yeah. Like for me, I'm like, oh, even though I'm getting back into it and I'm like slow, I'm seeing pretty good progress, but that's because I've done it before. It's not because I'm just better at it than anybody. It's like, no, I've had more practice. Muscle memory is a very big thing. I would say that's a huge contributor to why I can get back into it fairly quickly. I'm not rushing it right now because I am trying to do it right, because I want to do this forever. So I am taking my time on it, and I highly recommend that too. But if you want to keep doing it, take your time. Yeah, there's no rush, I love running. Guys, I love running so much, and I'm trying really hard. I'm like, I'm not trying to turn this into a running podcast, but fuck, I could talk about running forever and ever. It is one of my favorite things. And I'm like, I love the outlet. I love the stress outlet. After a run, I feel better. I will say, if you ever have a big decision to make and you're like, I don't know what to do, go for a run. best way to sort through your thoughts, because I feel like you're exhausting yourself and you don't get the like emotional aspect of it. Or it takes away the emotional aspect of it because you're like, I'm kind of gassed. And now I can just use the logic part of my brain. So, anyways, guys, as always, it's a pleasure speaking to you guys. I finally have 3 guests lined up for this weekend. So we will have guests coming. It has been so, I had 2 guests lined up last weekend. One had something come up, and then because of the smog that took over the city, I had to reschedule one, which I'm very excited for her to come on. I'm excited for both of them to come on. But yeah, we have some exciting things coming ahead. Going to be learning about a bunch of other things as well. I won't turn this into a running podcast, I promise. Also, thank you so much for putting up with my raspy voice right now. I appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, a great rest of your week, and go for a run if you can. I know right now the air quality is still probably shit. But if you can, once it gets better, do it. Highly recommend. So stoked to have you guys. Thank you for listening today, and I can't wait to talk to you in the next episode. Have a great day, guys. Bye.